All right, what's popping, guys? So tonight I'm making a low carb seafood Alfredo pasta. And I grabbed a couple items from my local Publix, and here are just a few things that I'm going to make. Found some broccoli florets that I'm going to steam to add as my greens for this meal. I got these from my local Target. Not only that, I came across these Protein Plus spaghetti noodles from, I think it's pronounced Barilla. These are very low carb, good for anybody on a keto strict diet, or anyone trying to do low carb meals. These noodles are great for that. They have a great taste. You can barely taste the difference. And I believe that they are made from chickpeas. I'm trying to get a better look at the calories and the carbs that are in it. I'm also going to be using geisha white crab meat, and let me tell y'all, I'm so shocked that I didn't know about these sooner. This crab meat is so good. I didn't know that Bumblebee had some as well, but I'm going to be using both the lump crab as well as the white crab meat. That paper on the inside is just another filter for the crab meat and the juices and stuff. So I'm going to start by taking my crab meat, putting that in a bowl, and I'm going to season that with a couple different seasonings, sea salt, some Cajun choice blackened seasoning. I'm going to add a little bit of that in there for added flavor. And now I'm going to take one of my favorite Old Bay seasoning, the garlic and herb. I actually have two of these that I'm going to add to the crab as well as the shrimp. Also some ground white pepper. As you can see, I got this from Walmart. It is the Great Value brand, but I love it. It works great. And here I am just going to go ahead and give this a good mix, mixing up all the seasoning in with the crab meat. But take a look at that, guys. That came from a can. And now I'm going to go ahead and throw my Protein Plus Barilla spaghetti noodles into the pot and let those boil. Now, I normally break those in half so that they all fit in the pot, but I kind of wanted them to stay intact, and that's just for aesthetics. And now I'm going to go ahead and season my shrimp with some of the same exact seasoning that I did with the crab meat, so that I can have the flavor consistent throughout. And y'all, I struggle open this pepper bottle. Don't ask me why, and when I've had this thing forever. But I'm adding my black pepper in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of my seasonings. Same ones that I used before, so I'll go ahead and speed this part up. And I know this is going to look like I'm adding a lot of this Old Bay seasoning, but that is only because the holes in the top of this bottle are very, very small. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and mix up my shrimp and all of my seasonings. And here I am just checking to see how done or firm my noodles are, because I like them soft but not too soft, still a little bit firm. I guess they call that al dente. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and take some I Can't Believe It's Not butter. And I'm going to throw that into my formerly non-stick pan. And listen, don't judge me. I have had this pan for ages. I don't know how much butter you need. Just throw in enough to, grease your pan. And I went ahead and added just a little bit more because I wanted to make sure that I had enough for the amount of garlic I wanted to put in here. Now, I do believe this Can't Believe It's Not butter is good for those who are looking to have a low or no carb diet. There are 0 grams of carbs in there. So I'm going to go ahead and take my minced garlic. And again, I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to eyeball it and toss that in. And just a little note, I love garlic. So I'm putting quite a bit in there. And yes, I could have used fresh garlic, but I just didn't have time. So I'd rather just go ahead and get it so that it's a quick meal. I have a very busy schedule. My kids keep me busy. So the quicker I can get done, the quicker we can eat and start doing the rest of our stuff for the night. So I'm just letting that sizzle, and then I'm going to go ahead and toss my shrimp in there. Listen, I am a shrimp fiend, and I just wanted to slow this down for, again, aesthetics. And I'm just going to go ahead and give those a good little stir with my handy dandy little metal spoon here. And I'm going to go ahead and give those a good stir to try to get them evenly spread across my pan so that they cook evenly. So I'm going to continue mixing here. And as you can see, I went ahead and got a little bougie and got my plastic spatula so that I can go ahead and move those around so that they get cooked evenly throughout my pan. And oh my God, it smells so good. Like I said, I absolutely love garlic. And then when the steam with the butter and the other seasonings hit your face, it's like, oh my God. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for my crab meat. I'm going to go ahead and throw some butter in the pan. Don't ask me how much, just eyeball however much you feel you need. And then take my minced garlic and go ahead and add that to my pan as well. And go ahead and get that cooking up so that I can add in my crab meat. And when I say I'm still shocked that I am just now discovering canned crab meat, I found out that it's used to make homemade crab cakes. So I may even do that at a later time because I'm so interested in how that would come out with this canned crab. So I went ahead and added that crab meat into my pasta noodles and gave that a good stir. And now I'm going to go ahead and whip up my Alfredo sauce using heavy whipping cream. I'm going to go ahead and whip up my Alfredo sauce using heavy whipping cream. I know that with the heavy whipping cream, you get about 3 grams of carbohydrates per 1 cup. And I believe I've added in about a cup and a half, maybe 2 cups of the heavy whipping cream. And I'm going to go ahead and mix that in with the garlic and butter that I added in off camera. And I'm going to go ahead and mix that as my pan begins to heat so that I can add my other ingredients to thicken this up a little. Now I'm adding in just a little bit more, so I believe it was about almost 2 cups. Now I'm going to take some regular cream cheese that I picked up from Publix, and I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of slices in there so that I can go ahead and mix this in. Now my cream cheese looks like this because my son ended up putting it in the freezer and it was so hard to get off of my knife, and that's why it looks like that, and it's not as smooth as it is supposed to be. But nonetheless, it still worked. It still did the job. It was still fresh. I had just bought it the night before. And like I said, my son put it in the freezer when he was putting the rest of the groceries up. But I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of slices of that into my pan as it starts to heat up, so that I can make that Alfredo sauce very rich and creamy. And here I'm just going through my Alfredo sauce with my whisk, trying to break up that frozen cream cheese so that that works its way throughout the heavy whipping cream. And now I'm going to go ahead and add in my freshly grated Parmesan cheese that I picked up from the refrigerated section in Publix. And I'm going to go ahead and add it to my heavy whipping cream, spreading it throughout my pan so that I can get a seamless, again, creamy Alfredo sauce. Now there was one part that I forgot to add in, and that was me adding in the shredded Parmesan cheese by Sargento. You can, or you really don't have to, because it's extremely creamy already. But then I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more of my favorite seasonings to my Alfredo sauce to give it that extra kick. And listen, when I say this stuff smelled like heaven, it smelled like heaven. And I'm going to take a little bit of the New Orleans Cajun seasoning and also add that in just a little bit. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to pour that into my pot over my noodles and crab meat that is already in there. Doesn't that look amazing, guys? And listen, I want every morsel of that sauce into my pan over my noodles. And I'm going to take my cooked shrimp along with the sauce that came from the shrimp and the butter. And I'm going to add that to my pan. And then I'm going to just take this and mix this up so that the shrimp can scatter throughout. And when I say this is by far one of my favorite dishes. It is low carb, high in protein because of the Protein Plus Barilla spaghetti noodles. And this is the finished product. Went ahead and steamed my broccoli and put my garlic bread in the oven, and it came out amazing. So much so that my family demolished the entire thing. I'm so proud. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more.